Hey, Finance family, welcome to this edition of Let's Talk Tuesday. So, we're still in the month of September, and so September is National Preparedness Month. So, we're still talking about preparing for life events, right? Some events that are life changing events. And so, this week, in keeping with that same thought, we are talking about preparing for family expansion. Okay, so whether you're preparing for having a baby, or you're preparing for adopting a child, or maybe you're preparing to just become guardian over a family member. We're definitely going to share some tips, some financial tips to help you in preparing for that life changing event. Okay. I myself am way past preparing for expanding my family, knock on wood. Um, but definitely want to share some things that I've learned over the years being a mother of three, and some things that I had to learn the hard way, some things I knew, right? So, want to definitely come before you and share some of those tips, some of those strategies. So, wherever you are in your journey of expanding your family, hopefully you can put these into action now, or maybe you have them for the future when you do start that process of expanding your family. Okay. So the first tip that I want to talk about is emergency fund. I know y'all are so tired of me saying this over and over again, but it is imperative that when you are thinking about making a life changing event, especially like expanding your family, you want to make sure that your emergency fund is intact and that it is funded. I would say fully funded, but I always tell you, start off with 1,000, right? Work your way up to 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. And so what that used to look like is maybe just your mortgage, or maybe your car note, insurance. So now you have to consider this additional person, this little person that you have to take care of. So you need to put into that emergency fund expenses for their diapers or formula, or additional expenses for food or medical expenses, expenses for daycare, right? All of that should now be a part of your emergency fund when you're considering that 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses, okay? And before I get any further, please feel free to share any tips or strategies that I may have overlooked throughout the live. Please feel free to do so in the comments, and ask your questions too in the comments, okay? Like I said, I'm a mother of three, so I don't claim to be an expert because y'all, they don't have a manual on what to do when you're preparing for parenthood. There is a book called What to Expect When You're Expected, but anywho, I digress. But so feel free to ask your comments, or ask your questions and make your comments. And we have a comment. So Wayne says, should we have an emergency fund for emergencies and for the upcoming baby, or all in one? So I would say make it an all in one, Wayne. So when you are planning for your emergency fund, make sure that those expenses that are going to be needed for the baby, or for the child that you're adopting, or for whomever you're assuming guardianship over, like make sure that's a part of your fund. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to separate it. You just want to make sure that you have enough money saved up in the fund to cover all those expenses. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is a 529 account. Now, this varies from state to state. In the state of Georgia, I have a 529 account for my kids. Okay. What it is it's a college fund, right? Like a college savings account. So it works very similar to, let's say, like a IRA, right? So this is money that is going into an account, and it comes out usually after taxes are assessed on your check. And you're just pushing that money into the account. So the money is growing tax free. Okay. Which is great because, when you are planning for colleges, college is expensive, especially these days. It seems like the tuition goes up and up every year. I feel like institutions are now in the money business, right? They're in the business of making money. And so that, most people, you can't graduate right now without a $60,000 college debt over your head. So you want to make sure that you are doing everything within your power to save and to plan for that event, because hopefully your child is going to go off to college, or your children will go off to college if that's the journey that they choose. So you want to make sure that you give them that money to do so. Okay, so it's a 529 account. It's a college savings account. Okay. Again, when you are looking into that, just make sure that one, you know the tax strategies or tax benefits of that account, because they vary from state to state. And make sure you also know the contribution limits for that account. Again, they vary from state to state. So even if I were to tell you how Georgia does it, like if you're not in the state of Georgia, it's not going to be helpful to you. So just make sure that you read the limitations or the contribution limitations, and make sure that you know the tax benefits, okay, for your state. The next thing that I would say it is imperative that you do is you open up a FSA account. So a FSA account is a flexible spending account, not to be confused with a HSA, which is a health savings account. So both of these you can get through your employer. But I will say this with an FSA, and I didn't learn this until a little later. So this is why I really want y'all to pay attention, especially for those families that have children that are in daycare. If you open up an FSA account, you can use that money to pay for daycare. You can use that money to pay for after school care. Okay. So that money that you are using is taken out of your check before taxes are assessed, and then you can utilize that money to pay for daycare or for after school care. You can also use it for, medical expenses, like prescriptions or co-pays, but it's important that you understand that you can use it for daycare and after school care too. Again, I didn't find out, until a little later in the game, but once I discovered that, let me tell you, I was using that because it's a huge benefit. And so again, you can allocate like how much money you want withheld from your check every pay period to put aside into that account. And then whenever you go to pay for that daycare, you just swipe that FSA card. Okay. So definitely take advantage of the FSA account. Okay. Flexible spending account. Right. The next thing that I want you to do is open up a custodial account. So a custodial account is sort of like a investment account, or think about it as like a retirement account, but for your child. So because the child is a minor, you are opening the account in their name. Okay, so it's a custodial account, and so you manage the account very similar to how you would manage your own retirement account. But again, it's just in the child's name. And so just when you are thinking or considering opening one of these accounts, just make sure that you're doing your due diligence and reading like what the age is that they will have access to the money, how much money they can have access to. Just make sure that you're investing according to the risk levels that you're willing to take on. So I would advise you sitting down and talking to a financial advisor or a financial planner when you're considering opening up one of these accounts. Okay. But a custodial account is a good thing to not only prepare for your child's future, but maybe for their retirement, right? Because maybe they don't even use it. They just continue to put money towards that account. And then when they are ready to retire, they're in even much more of a better place, right? So we're all about building generational wealth. And so that is definitely one way to do so, opening a custodial account. Also, make sure that you are aware of the tax pros and cons of having a custodial account as well. Okay. The next thing is make sure that you're updating your health insurance. So again, these may not be in the order that you would like execute them, but definitely making sure your health insurance is updated should be like one of the top three, right? Especially like right after your baby is born, it's considered a life-changing event for your employer. And so at that point, you can make that update to your health insurance policy. So maybe right now, if you're in, I don't know, a single plan or one person plan, you might want to move to a member plan, I mean, family plan rather, or you might want to do single and just add a dependent. It really just depends on what's going to be most beneficial for you and what's going to be most cost effective for you. So make sure that you're reviewing your health plans at work, and that you're choosing the right plan for you and for your family, right? And then make sure that you are adding that dependent too. Okay. The next thing that you want to do is you want to update your beneficiaries. So this can pertain to your life insurance policy, your retirement policies. You just want to make sure that those are all updated so that the child that you're adding to your family becomes a beneficiary should something happen to yourself. Okay, so make sure that your beneficiaries are updated. And then last but not least, make sure your will is updated. Okay, it's important to consider who's going to take over guardianship should something happen to you. It's important to have in your will, like when the child will have access to the money as a minor and when they're an adult, and how much access will the guardian have to the money when your child is a minor, and what the money could be spent on. So you definitely want to make sure that you have proper updates to your will when you are thinking of expanding your family. So again, guys, a lot of information. I know we got through it kind of quickly today. Like I said, some of this stuff I learned the hard way, unfortunately. Lost a lot of money not doing what I was supposed to. So I wanted to make sure that I shared these proven strategies with you all so that you don't make the same mistake. So again, this is for anybody who's thinking about starting a family. Maybe you already have a family, but your children are still young. You can definitely implement some of these strategies, right? And then it's just good to have, you're entering, some of us may be entering in the stage of becoming a grandparent. And so maybe you want to start some custodian accounts or some 529 accounts for your grandchild. So definitely something to consider as well. But again, make sure you get with an advisor to make sure that you have the account set up properly and that you're going to be selecting the best account for you. Okay. So do we have any questions? No questions, no comments tonight. I guess I don't have a lot of people in the Five Finance family with young kids. It's all good. It's all good. But hopefully you found this helpful. If you know someone who is on their journey of expanding their family, or someone who's thinking about considering expanding their family, please share this with them so that they can start some of these strategies and implement some of these tips so that they can save money and start their path to building generational wealth. So again, Five Finance family, thank you for joining. Oh, before I go, the five freebie. So we have a hashtag floating around. It's hashtag five freebie, and we're going to be announcing a winner for some free five merchandise. Um, Earl has a comment. He says, "Not yet. One more year. One more year, Earl. You've been saying one more year for a child for forever. But okay, Earl, one more year." So, yeah, Earl, I'm anxiously awaiting for him to make me an auntie. So we're going to see how that goes. One more year. Okay. So if you have not already participated in our free our five freebie giveaway, please do so. Please use the hashtag five freebie so that you can be included in the drawing for some free Five Finance merchandise. We have a mug, we have a keychain, we have a hand sanitizer holder, and we have a pop socket. Wayne says no more kids for us. That's correct, Wayne. Shop closed, right? No more kids, shop closed. So please visit our Fire Your Boss Entrepreneurs Unite page. Like the page, become a member. Use the hashtag 5freebie in the most recent post, and we will put your name in the drawing to win this prize. So far, we've had Chantel was our winner last week. And then the week before, then we had Andrea. I think Daniels was the winner. So it's real thing, y'all. You know, I know people say nothing in life is free, but we do want to give you something free to just show our gratitude for you rocking with us week over week. And this is only for the month of September that we're doing this, okay? So again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for rocking with us tonight. I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful Tuesday evening. And until next time, Five Finance family, see ya.